Welcome to Dreamy Tales English. I'm David. Tonight, we have a special story for you. It's called the Cashless City of Shenzhen. Shenzhen is a city in southern China that has been called the Silicon Valley of hardware, but it is also something else. It is the world's first truly cashless city. In Shenzhen, you can buy everything without touching a single yuan note or coin. You can take the subway, eat at a restaurant, ride a shared bicycle, pay for your electricity bill, and even donate to charity, all with your phone. All you need is a smartphone and a QR code. For most people living in Shenzhen, this is not remarkable. It is normal. It is the way life works. But for visitors, especially visitors from countries where cash is still king, Shenzhen can be shocking. Some find it liberating, others find it terrifying, and some, like our story, find it transformative. James was 32 years old when he arrived in Shenzhen for the first time. He was from London, and he had come to China on a business trip to meet with suppliers for his small electronics company. He had never been to Asia before. He did not speak Chinese, and he did not have a Chinese bank account. He landed at Shenzhen Baoan International Airport on a rainy Tuesday morning in March. He collected his luggage, walked through customs, and stepped out into the terminal, and immediately realized that he was in a world he did not understand. There were no cashiers, no registers, no credit card machines. Instead, every stall, every shop, every food vendor had a small square printed on a piece of paper and taped to the counter. The square contained a pattern of black and white dots, a QR code. James had seen QR codes before, but never in this quantity. They were everywhere, on walls, on counters, on refrigerators, on bicycles, on the backs of delivery scooters. He stood there, confused, watching the people around him pull out their phones, scan the codes, and pay. It was like watching a magic trick. One moment, they were holding paper cups of bubble tea. The next moment, they were handing money to the vendor. Except they weren't handing money. They were holding phones. James approached a young woman standing next to him. She was Chinese, wearing a bright yellow jacket and carrying a backpack. "Excuse me," he said in broken English. "How do I pay for things?" The woman smiled. "Do you have WeChat?" "I don't know what WeChat is," James said. She laughed. "Then let me help you." Her name was May, and she worked at a co-working space near the airport. She showed James how to download WeChat, how to link his British bank card, and how to scan a QR code to make a payment. Within 20 minutes, James had paid for his taxi ride, his hotel room, and a bowl of beef noodles from a street stall, all using his phone. "You just scan the code," May said, pointing to her own phone, "and the money went from your account to the vendor's account. Instantly. No cash, no cards, nothing." James stared at his phone in disbelief. "This is incredible." "It's normal here," May said. "In Shenzhen, nobody uses cash anymore." "Not really. Not since about 5 years ago." Over the next week, May acted as James's guide to the world of digital payment in China. She showed him how to order food on Mate One and deliver it to his hotel room by drone. She showed him how to rent a shared bicycle on Mobike by scanning a code on the handlebar. She showed him how to pay for the subway by scanning a code at the turnstile. No tickets, no cards, just a phone. Everywhere they went, James was amazed. At the breakfast buffet, he scanned a code to pay. At the souvenir shop, he scanned a code to pay. At the massage parlor, he scanned a code to pay. Even the old man selling roasted sweet potatoes on the corner had a QR code taped to his cart. "This is the future," James said on the third day, sitting in a cafe while May drank bubble tea and he drank coffee. "No," May said, "this is the present. The future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed." James thought about this. He thought about London, about the long queues at ATMs, about the lost wallets, about the stolen credit cards, about the hours spent waiting for bank transfers to clear. And he thought about Shenzhen, about the instant payments, the zero cash, the seamless integration of technology into daily life. "Can I learn more?" he asked. "About this digital life?" May smiled. "Then stay longer. There's so much more to see." And so James extended his trip. He spent the next month exploring Shenzhen's digital ecosystem. He visited Huawei's headquarters and learned about 5G technology. He rode in an autonomous taxi in Nanshan District, a car that drove itself with no driver and no steering wheel. He watched robots deliver packages to apartment buildings in Futian District. He visited a smart farm outside the city where drones planted rice and automated systems watered the crops. Everywhere he went, he saw the same thing: technology that made life easier, faster, and more efficient. Technology that was not futuristic science fiction, but everyday reality. One evening, as James sat on the balcony of his hotel room looking out over the Shenzhen skyline, the neon lights, the skyscrapers, the drone deliveries crisscrossing the sky like fireflies, he thought about his life in London. He thought about his small electronics company, struggling to compete with larger firms. He thought about the manual processes he used every day, writing invoices by hand, balancing accounts and spreadsheets, waiting days for bank transfers. And he thought about Shenzhen. The next morning, he called his boss in London. "I have an idea," he said. "I want to move to Shenzhen." His boss was silent for a long moment. "You want to move to China?" "To Shenzhen." "Yes," James said. "Not just to visit, to live, to work, to learn." Another silence. Then, "Are you serious?" "I've never been more serious in my life," James said. 2 weeks later, James moved to Shenzhen. He found a small apartment in Nanshan District, opened a Chinese bank account, and set up his WeChat Pay. He enrolled in a Mandarin course at a language school and began learning Chinese. Not just the words, but the culture, the customs, and the mindset that made a cashless society possible. He also started a blog called Cashless in China, where he documented his experiences navigating life in Shenzhen as a foreigner. He wrote about the convenience of mobile payment, the efficiency of the delivery system, the beauty of the smart city infrastructure, and the warmth of the people who welcomed him. His blog became surprisingly popular. Thousands of people from around the world read his posts and commented with questions and stories of their own. Some were from countries where cashless payment was already common: Sweden, Norway, Denmark. Some were from countries where it was just beginning: India, Brazil, Thailand. And some were from countries where cash was still king: the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany. Through his blog, James discovered something he had not expected. He was not alone in his fascination with China's digital transformation. Millions of people around the world were curious about the same things he was: the QR codes, the mobile payments, the delivery robots, the autonomous taxis, the smart cities. And he realized that his job was not just to document these changes. It was to explain them, to help people understand not just how China was changing, but why. One afternoon, as James walked through a Shenzhen street market, buying roasted skewers from a vendor with a QR code on his cart, paying with his phone, and watching the smoke rise into the blue sky, he thought about May and the first day they had met at the airport. He had come to Shenzhen as a visitor. He had left as a resident. He had come to do business. He had stayed for the culture. And he had come not understanding anything. He was leaving understanding more than he ever thought possible. The world was changing. and James was proud to be part of the change. Good night and sweet dreams.